Hi, welcome to my channel, Untethered for Life. Today, we're going to be visiting the Psychedelic Club of Denver's Mindful Marketplace in Castle Bash in the evening.
All you!
Hey guys, thanks for coming out to support the Psychedelic Club of Denver. We're having our big marketplace and warehouse party tonight. So swing by, it's at 1000 North Broadway, which is the Denver Sports Castle. Thanks, bye! Oh, and I'm Tess.
I'm really excited to bring you this episode. Colorado recently passed legislation that decriminalizes the possession and cultivation of psilocybin mushrooms statewide. They took it even a step further, creating a program that will allow healing centers registered with the state to open as well, and that part of the legislation's in progress. Now, I have my own personal story related to psilocybin mushrooms, and I want to delve into that before we visit the Mindful Marketplace and Castle Bash hosted by the Psychedelic Club of Denver. So a little bit about me. My name is Luke. I'm 40 years old, and I absolutely love the state of Colorado. From the beautiful scenery to the people, the culture, the food, it's an incredible state, and I'm extremely proud to be here. Now, prior to COVID and prior to 2018, I was constantly exploring this state. I hiked regularly, I went to clubs and dance events. I just did a little bit of everything, and I had a zest for life. But I had a trauma occur in 2018 that changed the course of my life. That was compounded by COVID, which then forced us all to isolate, which is not great for anyone's mental health. And then during COVID, or towards the latter end of COVID, my mother passed away. I grew up in an alcoholic home, and I have two 10-year younger siblings. My mom's passing was a very difficult process, and it really strained the relationships that I had with my family. Coupled with the trauma I experienced in 2018, I was in a very precarious position. That zest for life was just kind of sucked out of me. It was almost as if I dug a trench, climbed in it, and didn't do anything to get out of it. I stopped hiking, I stopped traveling. I really didn't care to go to restaurants or do anything. Now, I wanted to take personal responsibility for my own healing and my own mental health. So, I started with all of the traditional methods, right? I saw a therapist. I saw multiple therapists, in fact, and God bless them, during COVID, remote therapy and the quantity of people requiring therapy made that therapy ineffective, and that is what it is. I tried prescription drugs, which helped the lows, but I just still could not get that zest for life again. So that's when my search for alternative methods had begun. Now, of course, this isn't something I could share with anyone. It was not something I could broadcast to the world that I was doing. So I jumped on the internet and I learned to grow psilocybin mushrooms. And I successfully grew psilocybin mushrooms. And I was the only one that knew that I was doing this. My wife and I took a journey to Mexico and visited the city of Huautla de Jimenez, ideally to learn more about these alternative healing methods. I didn't take mushrooms then or anything like that, but it did give me a respect for the culture and the medicine. I did partake in a Temescal bath, which was unbelievable. I'm not a very spiritual person, or I wasn't a very spiritual person, but my spiritual journey was definitely awakened after the Temescal bath. So I came, after that particular trek to Mexico, I began to use psilocybin mushrooms. I've only done it a handful of times. I started with a very small dose. And then I was fortunate enough to come across a close friend that offered to guide me. And it was the most spiritual experience I've ever had. I wouldn't say I'm cured, but it did fill in some of the dirt in the trench that I dug myself. And now today, 2 months ago in fact, I started this YouTube channel. And now I'm spending almost every day exploring this beautiful state of Colorado again. So quick little sidebar. If you love Colorado, if you're thinking about visiting Colorado, if you're looking for stuff to do in Colorado, I highly suggest you subscribe to my channel. I'll give you honest feedback and opinions about what this beautiful state has to offer. And it helps me a lot, so that would be nice. Okay, sidebar over. Now, back to the Mindful Marketplace. What a really cool event. I would say many people have this impression that individuals that associate with illicit substances or drugs or whatever have you may have a skewed perception of who and what those people are. And one of the most beautiful things about this venue is that there were people from all walks of life. And honestly, there were people there that inspire me to be a better person, which was so cool. And I am really excited to share some of those people's stories and products with you today. Everyone that I showcase, I've included links in the description. Feel free to check them out. In fact, I'd encourage you to check them out. But let's go check it out. So like any good market, they did have a variety of art vendors. But I do want to remind you that this is a event hosted by a Psychedelic Club. The art was awesome.
Welcome to Void Kitty Curios. All of our crystals are ethically sourced from North America, and the bones are treated with a special bio-based epoxy. That's what preserves them for long-term use and makes them really pretty and shiny. Thanks for visiting us. Sweet. I love Colorado, and I love the fact that we're moving towards taking medicine for people more seriously and helping people find the right medicine that works for them.
John Denver said it best. It was coming home to a place you've never been before, and I am just living my best life here, and I love it. Awesome. Let's keep this a secret so we don't get
I'm posting this on YouTube.
No, I
I'm Trevor. I'm a local Denver artist. I've been here since about 2003. I am a psychedelic surrealist in a sense. I do a lot of digital work, do a lot of stickers. I made a coloring book this year, and yeah, just kind of trying to get into the art game and get my stuff out there.
Inspired by Colorado food culture. So I go up and down the state, most of the Front Range, and I draw the food, the beers, wine, ciders, cocktails, and other things that I experience gastronomically.
So another thing I really appreciate about Colorado and the people in Colorado is that there is a diverse range of ways to be a healthier person. The next series of vendors have a significant amount of credibility in the community and educationally, and they also explore methods of healing that aren't the typical Western methods of healing. Let's check them out.
Shamanic tradition, and most people find it very relaxing. It can help clear and balance your chakras and your whole energetic field, and it can also feel really rejuvenating and kind of recharging your energy, and it can even help with physical pain and trauma therapy, which I also do. So I do integrative trauma therapy with Reiki as well.
Okay, so got into breathwork about a year and 2 months ago, and the reason being is I wanted to quit drinking, and so I first went in to see Candace and get some Reiki, and she told me about breathwork, and at first I was like, all right, what is this hippie shit? I'm not particularly feeling it, but I went and I did it, and I was like, wow, this is really profound. And so by doing breathwork, that has helped me along my sober journey, and just by default, we have come to grow the spiritual experience, which is the business, and now we do events, and we have a psychedelic self-love event, we do retreats up in Breckenridge, and then we also have an event called Scream Church every Sunday morning in the Highlands. And so by going on my own sober journey, it's helping giving back to the community and the experience and everything like that.
Hey guys, we are Jay Nelson and Lindy Nelson. This is my son Hunter, and today we are slinging a book called Consciousness in a Nutshell, a Psychonautical Odyssey. So this is a creative nonfiction or narrative nonfiction book about the study of consciousness, tackling it from the angle of neuroscience, psychology, neuropsychopharmacology, evolutionary biology, philosophy.
And the goal is to make it accessible, so it's all delivered through the vehicle of a story. So in the form of narrative nonfiction, the story is that you are following two neuropsychopharmacologists who spent their entire lives studying the subject of consciousness. And then in this book, one of them finds himself trapped in a room with no doors or windows. And he has 8 hours to live, and he uses this time to write a letter to a complete stranger, just trying to expunge everything he knows about the subject of consciousness in as few words as possible. This book is that letter to a stranger. Huh?
So the answer to what is life, what is consciousness, what does it mean to be, what is nirvana, explained with 21st century language. So non-intimidating style. It's a trip, I gotta say.
So before I collected any footage at this event, I just kind of walked around. Honestly, I was really nervous. I'm still really nervous to bring my camera out in public, so I have to kind of warm up to it. And I walked by this gentleman. His name was Christopher Firestone. And I made eye contact. He said hi. I said hi back. And I don't know what it was. There was a kind soul there. And I came back around with my camera and I learned what this gentleman did. And he makes compostable packaging that contains the ingredients to make various household goods like shampoo or detergent.
Hey, thanks. I'm Christopher with the Better World Company, and all of my packaging is compostable. It's based on a refill model to where you only buy a bottle one time and you constantly refill it. Each one of these packages makes 16 ounces of spray cleaner, and that's the only thing you have to get rid of. It's just this little sachet that you can compost, rather than buying a single-use plastic bottle every single time you want to buy any of these household products.
So I just want to point out what Christopher is doing has got to be extremely difficult. In order for his business model to be successful, he has to change the way people think about how they use products. And if he's successful, it's going to be better for the planet. I mean, how freaking cool is that? What a courageous person. I really like his products. So during COVID, there was definitely a mix-up of people's priorities and their jobs and careers and what they do and how they live their life. Joe from Astral Harvest Street is a great example of that. This guy decided he was going to grow mushrooms, and the stuff he does with mushrooms is crazy. You should check it out.
All right. Hi, my name is Joe. We are the owners, my wife and I are the owners of FreshOffTheCap.com, Astral Harvest Street LLC. Here we have many different mushrooms. Some are medicinal, some are culinary. For example, lion's mane over here is fantastic for your brain, and as well as anxiety. We have king oyster, pink oyster mushrooms, golden oyster mushrooms. We offer so much more on our website. However, here today, we also brought some things we do not have on our website just yet. They're absolutely exclusive, and we're also offering free samples to people for our new product, which is a brand new mushroom jerky that we are testing out. Here today, we have some perfumes that are actually made, or colognes that are actually made with golden oyster mycelium and Nameco mycelium as well. We also have enhancers, which are essentially powdered mushrooms, such as reishi, cordyceps, and lion's mane, all with their exclusive compounds and alkaloids that work synergistically with your body. And we also have teas here as well, some that are for sleep, some that are for anti-inflammatory, and some that are for energy, or even something called a lemon tech. So if you know, you know what that's about.
Man, Tasha and Brandon, whew. I asked them to give me a spiel on their products. Tasha jumped right in. And man, did they make a lot of stuff. It's just some hard work and passion.
We got these handmade soaps right here made with natural herbs. We have the candles made with crystals, some with salt, natural herbs. We have the bath salts, the body butters, some more scrubs made by hand. We have the brown sugar form, salt form, Epsom salt form. All our jewelry is handmade. No tools either, straight fingers. We have wrapped crystals that we wrap ourselves, our stones. I do dinner plates.
And if you want a custom bracelet like that, that's you won't find nothing like that anywhere.
Bring it a little closer if I can. Oh wow!
I do a lot of crazy.
That is super cool.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you.
Hey Colorado, this is Kyle Goitia with Fungal Flow Hoods. Coming to you today with a new flow hood design. I was sick and tired of the lack of options and the overpriced units that you can find online. So I decided to build my own and sell them to the public. So I'm trying to beat every price on the market. We have a solid back on here, H13 filter, washable pre-filter, and a 24 by 24 working area. So selling these for $600, and they work great. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
During the evening event at the Castle Bash, there were a variety of live art performances, as well as inclusive, interactive events and activities that you can partake in. So the live artist here, Miguel Dominguez, does some amazing work. I really appreciated the murals he's done in Atlanta. Nobody wants to see rundown buildings and cement concrete blocks everywhere. Miguel Dominguez is an amazing artist who also does a lot of hard work making sure that our communities appear nice and clean and pretty and visitable. So the patterns on the wall you see here are really neat. They're not just random computer generated visuals. They're actually made real time to go with the music at the venue. This is essentially another form of live art, and they use various dyes to do it. It was really neat to watch. What I also really appreciated is they do promote drug awareness and safety. There were signs posted about acceptable behavior and things that one should consider before consumption of particular substances. So that was the Psychedelic Club of Denver's Mindful Marketplace and Castle Bash in Denver, Colorado in January of 2023. The faces of the psychedelic community are varied and diverse, and they're some of the most conscientious, beautiful, kind, genuine people I've had the opportunity to meet. And it's a community that I am extremely proud to now be a part of. If you like Colorado, or you're thinking about visiting Colorado, or just want genuine, honest opinions on the happenings in Colorado, I'd highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.